Hi guys, welcome back. So I told you guys that I had a couple of DIY projects in the works, and today we are going to do one of them. Now, you guys loved my canvases that I made last time. I'll go ahead and link that below in case you haven't seen it. You guys love that so much that I figured I should do another one. They're super easy, fun to do, good for all ages. So this one is a little bit different, but still has kind of a similar theme. It is a slight ombre effect like the other two were. But this one is done with some things applied to it. So this whole project, all it's going to take is a couple of toilet paper holders. Now this one has been spray painted. I don't recommend spray painting them. A couple of mine that I ended up using were spray painted simply because I couldn't find the color I was looking for. But it's a pain to spray paint these. So you're much better off just painting with acrylic paint, which is what I did with the rest of them. So I used a total of 4 colors of acrylic paint: a cream, a burgundy, a brown, and a glossy black. And that's it. A couple of paintbrushes and a canvas, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what it is. Ta-da! Now this is cool because you can do it this way. You can do it this way. Do it this way. However you want to hang it, you can. It's kind of a deconstructed flower. So you have the flower up here, and then as you get away from the flower, the petals spread out even further. Now you can do this like this. You can just do flowers all over. You can do whatever you want. You could even just skip the flower and just do the ombre painting because it kind of looks like a sun. So this is what I will be demonstrating today. Again, super quick and easy. I hope you guys enjoy, and if you're interested in seeing how to do this, keep watching. Clean. This one I didn't do the greatest job cleaning simply because I'm not actually using this one, just demonstrating. Then you're going to take and decide how thick you want them. Now I want it both thick and thin, so I did some of the pieces 3/4 inch thick and the rest are a 1/2 inch thick. You can do whatever you want, but then you're simply just going to cut them up. It doesn't have to be perfect. You could try to make it perfect if you want, but I say don't waste your time. So you're going to go ahead and cut those with a pair of scissors, or if you have a paper cutter or something, that works too, whatever you want to use. And then you're going to paint them. So again, I used 2 different sizes. The littler ones I did in a champagne color that is a spray paint. I don't recommend doing that again. The thicker ones I did it in a black. Now this is a glossy black paint because I wanted it to look as shiny as possible. And you're going to paint the inside first because it's easier to hold on to and set down to dry. And then you're going to paint the outside of the ring. Now I did 3 coats on the outside and 2 coats on the inside. That way I got a nice super dark glossy black on the outside, and the inside looked good after 2 coats, so I didn't feel like I needed a new one. Now once you have your canvas down, you can lay out your little flower petals if you want to kind of give you an idea of where you want to go with it. I decided to leave that till the end. So what you're going to do is just put a little bit of your cream colored paint in a corner, and you're just going to start working that around in a circle. Once you've got a large-ish circle, then you're going to start adding dots of different color. So I did mostly white and then a couple of dots of red, and then a couple fewer dots of white and a couple more dots of red, and I just continued that gradiated pattern throughout the rest of the project. So anytime I felt like there needed to be a little bit more white, I added a little bit more white. Anytime I wanted it a little darker, I added a little bit more red. So you'll see as I keep going, I add more of one color and less of the other to kind of gradiate away from where it was to begin with. Now this can get a little tricky because you can kind of see that it's going to be uneven. You can always go back later and add more of whichever color you need. So at this point I thought it looked okay, but then when I stepped back when I was done, I realized that I needed more of the red in this area. It was a little too splotchy and you couldn't really get the idea of the gradiated pattern. So I just added more paint and just went with it, and you can kind of work with it until it's where you want. That's the great thing about acrylic paint, is you can just continue to work with it. It's an awesome medium, not to mention it's a fairly inexpensive medium. So You could do this with any colors you wanted. I just happen to want to match our bathroom upstairs, which is deep, rich reds and burgundies and cream colors. So I thought I would go with this route. But you could do the same thing with teals, with purples, whatever you want. And same goes for the petals. You could paint those whatever color you want as well. Now the brown was a little more difficult to work with because it was an old thing of paint. So it didn't spread quite as nicely as the rest of it. But I did manage to make it work in the way that I wanted it to. Once you are done getting your gradiated pattern down, again, just go back through and make sure that you don't need to add any color anywhere. If you need to, that's fine. Do it now before you sit there and wait for it to dry. The brown on top of the cream, and I just wiped it really quick, and then I took a little bit of the white on my ring finger and just buffed it out, or on my middle finger, and just buffed it out a little bit so that you couldn't see it anymore. That's a great way to fix mistakes. You can also use a wet rag, but I didn't happen to have one on me or even anywhere near me. So that works, and you can't even tell that it was there. So if you do make a mistake, don't freak out. It's fixable. It's always fixable. To do this, by the way, I used a fairly large brush head, not massive, but not small either. I wanted to be able to kind of get a lot of that gradiating in, and I didn't want it to all just blend together. So that's why I went with the size brush that I did. And as you can see here, I decided that I needed a little bit more. So I just added a couple more dots of white and a couple more dots of red and blended it together until I felt the pattern looked the best. There's no right and wrong here, so just do whatever you think is right. Now for the flower, all I did was take some Loctite and just glue these suckers down. I used 5 petals for the flower, for the black part of the flower, and then an additional 5 more for the champagne color. And all I did was just hold that down with the Loctite for about 10 seconds, and that sucker is not going anywhere. You could put glue along the entire base of it, but I just did the tips because that was going to be enough for this. Then you just press it down, hold it for about 10 seconds, and then you're ready to move on. So after I got the flower completed, then you're in the tricky task of trying to figure out where you want the rest of the petals to go. So I tried probably 800 different ways of doing this flower, and this is what I ended up coming up with. I arranged all of the flower petals where I wanted them, messed with them a little bit, and made sure they were how I wanted them, then glued them down. I skipped over that part because it's just gluing them down. Now, to finish this off, I wanted to finish off the edges to make them look nice and crisp and clean. I thought about using the glossy black, but I thought that would be a little too harsh, so I decided to use just the straight red. Now, I don't feel like it needs to be perfect, so for me, it's not a big deal. But if you want a nice, crisp, clean edge, you can go ahead and use painter's tape and just tape off each edge before you paint it. And then you're done. If you guys go ahead and recreate this, go ahead and tag me either on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at RealLaurenRenee. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video today. If you did, don't forget to give it a big old thumbs up to let me know that you liked it. And if you like these types of videos, let me know in the comments below and I'll go ahead and do more of them. Are there any things that you would like to see me paint? Are there any things that you're wondering, how could I do this? Or you have an idea but you don't know how to execute it? Let me know and I will do that for you. That is all I have for you guys today, and if you haven't subscribed already, I hope that you do so after watching this video. I will see you guys again next time. Bye! I figured I should do some more, and this one is just as easy as the last. My dog has decided that as soon as I turn on the camera, she should bark. Bella! Are you done? I think she's done. All right.